And hi everybody, we are back. I'm still Krystian from Trace 5.
And I'm still David or Captain Nice, still Belgian and still here.
And so this is the top cut game number 3 from Belgian Nationals 2017. On the left we still have Django. He just wants to stay here with his Hayley. On the right we have Mlodon, I think is the... I hope it's right. I'm really butchering his nickname a lot.
This is your time. Like, I pronounce Rooibot correctly now. It's your time to teach me how to pronounce his name. I have no clue.
I'm not equipped to be the teacher here. So he will be playing the Skorpios. Interestingly, so Skorpios, of course, has the ability that they can trash things forever.
They can remove one card from game every turn.
That was trashed.
That was trashed, which is a very strong ability against Shaper, I believe. Very strong in general, but in this matchup, I think it's gonna put in a lot of work. Except if the runner is able to get those sacrificial constructs out early. And then it depends whether the Corp finds their best defenses. It's going to be an interesting matchup, I believe.
Absolutely. Those sacrificial constructs are clutch here, because that's also the reason why those the Skorpios is not a very popular ID these days. Has been very popular at the time of the German Nationals a little bit, but during Worlds meta it was kind of like went a little bit away. So I'm really excited to see Mlodon here with his setup. Alright, so we had a piece in our time that was played on Jan's turn, on his first turn, kind of like a setup turn here, and he also got a Sure Gamble removed from the game already. Mlodon, I'm assuming he will be very aggressive. He will be try to rush things out, make Jan react to him, and then of course get his stuff trashed.
And very often you see Skorpios players not trashing that many events that get played, but in this case, because he knows that there is levy to be considered, he's going to be like removing from game a lot of events that he considers dangerous and considers, that's going to give the runner a lot of credits. So he's going to be very aggressive. I'm going to be like, oh, you play Sure Gamble, I'm going to remove that from game so it doesn't come back again.
Absolutely, and we already see the first clutch card from Jan here. There's a Sacrificial Construct. That is, of course, a big deal. There is still second danger. Oh, wow,
he
look at this.
He immediately removes it from game.
No Sacrificial Constructs in here, sir. This is a Skorpios game.
Yeah, I like this. This is like a psychological thing as well. He's like, I'm gonna trash and remove from game your sacrificial construct, and then I have a stolen card. And is it an agenda? Come and get it.
Whatever.
Do you want one of your Breakers trash? Maybe.
Very Wayland. Of course, we're very sad because Marcelo's from Trace 5, big Wayland fan. First time around, not actually playing Wayland today. And of course, who takes away his spotlight? It's not on here with the Skorpios.
Yeah, he gave in to one of the temptations and he started playing NBN. He feels very ashamed about that, but at least there's a Wayland playing here who actually made the top cut as well, and who's here to represent the faction. Very, very appropriate.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we see the Velasco, still Laguna Velasco, the scene of the murder from Terminal Directive, and providing Jan with all the card draw that he needs. But there's not a lot of board state right now. I'm actually shocked. Usually you see a lot more cards from Hayley at this point, even that early in the game. Mlodon, on the other hand, seems to be really well set up. HQ and R&D all iced up, and of course a remote server. Whew. Tough.
Yeah. I think he's feeling really well right now. He's like, I have my ice, my centrals, except for archives, are iced. I have a remote, and I have probably an agenda I can store next turn. If I was him, I would be feeling really good.
Or even worse. But Jan is about, whatever. I'm calling your bluffs.
He doesn't have any breakers at this point.
Keep me out, bro. Keep me out. Yeah, there's no much at stake. Like maybe Laguna Velasco gets trashed, but then what else? Oh, that's actually something juicy.
He's resting the Titanium.
What? Oh my god. Oh, Jeebus! Okay, so this is Thethonium, and also the Betty. So they're playing a Psy game. I'm not sure what kind of subroutine they're gonna fire there.
I know it definitely trashes the program, but that's not relevant right now.
Now we have to remember what subroutines are on Thethonium.
That's a good question.
Maybe damage?
I think it also does damage, but I have to be very honest. I don't know at this point. I haven't seen it all tournament, and I know you can.
Maybe just does it for value because never mind. Jan wins the Psy game. Doesn't matter.
that was a good call on his part.
Wow, Jan. I won't have that piece of his brain that allows him to do those things. I always lose Psy games, even as a corporation.
Apparently, it also trashes a resource. Oh, yeah, and of course he immediately moves it from the game. That makes sense. And then it also ends the run.
Yeah. I'm not sure why he rested. But anyway, so Django is down to step one, round one, so to speak. He has a little bit more money, but still no board save whatsoever. That's exactly what Mlodon wanted to do.
Yeah, Skorpios is one of those Wayland decks, like, they make use of that, that fear that the runner has of not wanting to run, and they capitalize on that, and yeah, like, he did pay a lot of money for the Titanium, like, you want to usually, like, forfeit a standoff or a hostile takeover for that, but, he still has a bit of money, and yeah, he's gonna capitalize on this.
Oh, there we go, install advance. Jan installed Fansite and a Astrolabe. The Astrolabe, I'm not seeing this Astrolabe doing a lot of work in this game.
It's probably not gonna give him many cards in this matchup, but you want it there, you might as well just install it at this point.
It's an extra MU, it's fine. So Mlodon even protects his remote even stronger with another ice in case there is a random fracture installed from Jan, which he would want to use to get this agenda. We have to assume it's probably an agenda, or at least something that Mlodon doesn't want Django to actually access.
We have to assume that this is an Atlas at this point. That seems the most likely.
Atlas would be really clutch. That would allow him to get maybe even like Hunter Seeker at a fortune moment. That is a very, very good play from Mlodon, and he might actually be taking the top spot here for Jan if he continues this way. Jan is actually burying his face in his hands.
He looks extremely focused right now.
Very focused. Yes, this is not the relaxed Jan that we saw in the previous games, who had everything already figured out. And this time he actually has to catch up.
What I'm thinking about right now, like, I have seen two very popular builds of Skorpios. One is that only plays one type of ice, either Code Gates, but most popularly barriers.
Barriers, yes, barriers.
Yeah. To just like be able to trash the runner's fractors, remove them from game, and then just lock them out and be able to just score away with impunity.
Yeah.
Or this is a more, more run-of-the-mill variant with like different types of eyes, also with sentries and code gates, so all the types of eyes that just tries to like move fast, just to outspeed the runner and capitalize on their fear of running for getting their breakers trashed.
Fear of running.
Their fear of running. It seems impossible, but like, Skorpios has this kind of effect on runners. They can make a decent amount of money. They can trash your breakers. Like, it is a very oppressive type of Corp, I find.
To me, I feel like I don't want to install anything because I'm afraid it gets trashed. But yeah, so I don't know. Jan is actually thinking a lot about his next moves. Will he let Mlodon get his score here?
Yeah, letting the Atlas pass through, it will put the Corp at only 3 credits, but it will give him access to any card he needs at any point, and that's going to be major in this matchup.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Still a lot of thinking here. Okay, what's happening? Okay, so wow, installing a Fen.
Oh, that's a ballsy play right
and
there.
Also an Inti as well. So actually getting out a lot of his breaker suite out, this can be really tricky. This can be really vulnerable, because if there's like a Hunter Seeker here, that can be a big problem.
If he gets his Fem Trash, this is gonna be major, because that means no more scavenge, shenanigans. Yeah,
but what are we going to do now? Are we going to run on this with first 4 credits? Seriously, bro?
I don't know. That seems like a very ballsy play. It might pay off, and it's gonna stop the Atlas train, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. And if that's a Hortim in front of the Titanium, it's not gonna pay off. But then, of course, the Corp cannot score the Atlas next turn, except like if they can still score it, but there won't be a credit on it, and it won't be quite as bad, of course.
That's absolutely the case. Yeah. So he's still thinking about it. Maybe just preparing for the second Atlas that gets installed afterwards. Just getting his stuff out.
It's definitely not a bad play, because the Titanium now is definitely neutered.
And getting rid of it is actually really painful. It's very expensive to rest, or maybe you have to forfeit an agenda. Okay, he goes in there.
Let's see what it is. It is a Hortim, I call it. He's going to be kept out.
Yep, so this is Code Gate. And there's
he's going to get a credit, though.
Oh, even additional credits.
Oh, so he can score it with an Atlas counter next turn. He will go down to 0 credits, but he can score
it. You beast!
You magnificent bastard!
You knew all along.
That was such a good play. Yeah. Tough luck for Jan.
But of course, if he scores it, he won't have any money to rest the other things. So
That's
he
true.
will leave his central servers open to any kind of abuse that Jan can
That's
pull
true.
off.
What he can do next turn is just take 3 credits or take something that gives him money, because that Atlas is very safe there.
Absolutely, yes.
He's not gonna get in there anytime soon.
Jan would have to install like a Guardian Blade, I guess he's playing against the Code Gates, and then still so expensive
Yeah.
to break the Hortum.
Yeah, then he still needs 3 credits for the Hortum, even giving the Corp 1 credit. He needs 3 credits for the Titanium. Yeah, he's not getting in there
that's
anytime soon.
not gonna happen. So he can actually, Mlodon can actually slow down, but does he want to slow down? Because this is Skorpios in the end. This is a very rushy thing. Okay, he actually gets 2 credits.
He gets the credits and he's thinking about his last click.
Maybe he can over advance the Atlas even more.
That would be very spicy if he advances it once.
Twice.
Oh.
It's twice as much advanced. So
Oh,
to
yeah,
speak.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets the credit.
He
Okay.
goes for the safe option.
That's a good idea, probably. That if he scores next turn, he will still have 3 credits left to rest stuff. That's a good
true.
amount of credits.
And we have to remember this is Hayley. Hayley can also put a lot of pressure on R&D. I think he wants to play a little bit safer just in case Hayley's like, okay, I'm going to go just for full on R&D pressure. He wants to be able to rest that ice on R&D as well.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit loud here. There's a coffee machine and people are actually buying coffee. That late. Why is anybody even still here? This is it's very late now, and we're
There are a lot of dedicated people here in
absolutely,
Belgium, obviously.
absolutely, clearly, and they're not even playing Netrunner. Just hanging out there. They just like it.
That's just the way we roll.
Those Belgians, they are incredible. Yes. Okay. So this is going to be a daily casts, and Jan just using his 4 credits that he had just in the best way possible, just to set up maybe a next score. He actually concedes this agenda to Mlodon.
Yeah, it's like at this point it's not worth it. Like it would take him way too many resources to get in there, and yeah, it sucks for him to have the Atlas score, but he's gonna let it go through at this point.
You have to find your own pace against Skorpios. You have to, of course, you can't ignore it, but you also have to find a sustainable way of running against it.
Yeah.
And Mlodon now is also caught in situations. What will he do now? Will he go for the score? Will he go to get the Atlas with a token? We have to assume, or will he actually go even slower now?
A large part of his decision is going to be depending on what ice is in front of R&D and HQ, and we don't know what this is. He's going to over-advance the Atlas.
Yeah. Okay, there is the Atlas as expected.
That makes sense.
Giving Jan the fan side, but also having now a token on there. This token can be used at any given point to get a card in his hand from his deck. So whatever he wants, he's kind of like a little genie in a bottle. Any wish he has, he can fulfill it.
A lot of nice surprises can come out, but that's the thing with the Atlas counter. A lot of nice surprises can come out from Skorpios as well, except they're not so nice.
Yeah. So both players are kind of having the same kind of setup here. Although Jan cannot do anything with the fan site yet. He doesn't have the artist colony, which goes hand in hand with the fan sites. Those artists love those fan sites. They crave for attention. All right, so it's Jan's turns now. He has to figure out what he wants to do. 3 credits, not a lot.
Both players are really low on credits now. They both have 3 credits.
He could face check stuff. Why not?
Yeah, what's the worst thing that the Corp can rest at this point?
For 3 credits, there's not a lot. I mean, maybe he is playing a crazy something like
I'm thinking like
Cortex Lock would be
a Cortex Lock would be clutch. He could be running Sapper, but he can break Sapper with Femme Fatale. So that would not be the worst thing.
That's actually pretty annoying. Sapper. You think there's nothing installed. I'm just gonna run.
Yeah, especially when you hit it in R&D, when you do like a deep dig, and then you hit the Sapper. Oh, that can turn out so badly.
So bad indeed. But Jan is just drawing so far.
Taking his time to think about this, which isn't totally understandable. Like he needs a little bit of time to just build up his port presence a little bit, which is when Hayley shines.
All right, Jan is reading his cards.
What does Laffy do again?
Why did I put it in my head? I don't know. Maybe he's been like quantum leaped, and.
He might have just net decked it and be like, oh, this deck did very well at Worlds, which was last weekend.
This is kind of how Jan operates, though. This is actually exactly what our Jan does. He always takes the most powerful, the most overpowered, meta decks, and he just always goes on and he wins. He pilots them well.
If you have a good pile and you have a good deck, there's not much that can happen. Like if you have a bad matchup, maybe, but like.
Yeah.
you will be very likely to succeed at that point.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So, dear Jan, what are you going to do? Oh, it's a lean forward situation for Jan right now.
I like how he's kind of like putting one elbow on there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with this.
It often looks relaxing, but in fact, I know from the way I can read his body talk is that this is Jan actually being engaged by this game and having to try and trying to figure out what to do.
Have you played against him quite a few times?
Yes, quite a few times. I'm not sure if I ever beaten him. Maybe 1 or 2 times, but he's an excellent player, and it's very, very difficult to win against him. Okay, I think he discarded an indexing. Is that true, or did he go for an index? No, he discarded.
No, he discarded it.
Yeah, okay. So meanwhile, Mlodon just gets credits. Yeah, he's very low on credits. He needs to get it up.
And he has an IPO in hand, so he's just thinking, like, I can take my time with this. Like,
sure.
I'm just going to credit up, I'm going to play the IPO, and then I'm back in the money, and I can do some nasty stuff.
Just click it up a little bit. Of course, the IPO is a bit of a slow down a little bit, because now he's still going to be 2 turns. Oh, wow! But things are speeding up now.
Yeah, now he doesn't have to click for credits like a peasant.
Yeah, it's good. A peasant indeed. So this is a piece in our time. The card that loses everybody's game because they don't read the card carefully or forget about it, and then
again public service announcement.
Yep. First click.
You're
not allowed to run.
And the Corp cannot have scored an agenda the previous turn.
All 3 are ways to lose the game if you do not pay attention to those things. Okay, Jan is playing a little piano song. And giving us a thumbs up. Thanks, Jan. Okay. Usually like the peace in our time kind of things, it's kind of like very thematic. It's like kind of like a peaceful card, it's kind of like, I'm gonna chill out, man. And just gonna set up. It gives you just a ton of money, gives corporations a ton of money, but you can also use this entire turn to set up. You're not gonna run any on anything.
From a thematic standpoint, I think it's like a very, very cool card. It kind of reminds me a lot of The Price of Freedom.
Yeah.
Thematic-wise, it's not a very good card in the case of The Price of Freedom, but thematically, it's amazing. I like it a lot.
It's really nice. Absolutely.
And he actually discards a scavenge. Okay,
that's an interesting choice, especially since the Fem scavenge is so good. But the Fem, there's actually scoring out the hostile takeover.
Yeah, and he gains 5 credits of that, and now he's back really in the money.
That is indeed the case. Didn't even play the IPO yet.
No.
Still something that can happen.
Doesn't need to at this point. And of course, now he has a nice agenda he can forfeit for maybe a second Titanium or an Archer.
Or he can go for a score out now. He's just 4 points away to winning this game. Just 2 more Atlas, and we're
That's true.
free.
He might decide to actually just rush it a little bit at this point.
But will you jam an agenda in server at this point? Jan is so high on the money right now.
I don't think I would at this point.
He bounced back really well. Maybe if you get the Betty back in there.
If he gets a Betty in there, then I would definitely.
Although, of course, with the Atlas token, he also can trash something. Perhaps there is no sacrificial construct, so both Fem and Inti would be vulnerable to trashes. Jan is still in the thinking mood today.
Yeah, I feel that the Skorpios matchup... Ooh, he installs his Gordian Blade. He does have it.
Full Breaker Suite engaged and confirmed.
The Cortex Lock only does 1 damage now, which might not be important.
Well, I haven't... The Cortex Lock so far exists just in our head. Okay, so and he discards the...
The Corp actually drew a Marcus Betty.
Ooh.
So that might actually be a good opportunity to start
Marcus
scoring.
Betty in there, get a second he cannot get it a second Atlas because then he wouldn't be able to punish it.
He has a wraparound in his hand, but
that doesn't do anything.
That doesn't do much for him at this point.
Not yet, at least.
Once he gets Inti trashed, that's gonna work.
Maybe, yes, that seems way more viable. I never played this a lot of Skorpios myself, so I don't know what the lines of play are.
You're not about making the runner cry in terms of trashing their programs?
Usually I'm the one who's doing the crying when I play games. As my opponents can confirm. Alright, so he's checking if he installed the right ice in front of HQ and R&D. And indeed, he jams that. It has to be the Batty, right?
It was the Batty.
It would be silly if it wasn't the Batty. And what if Jan runs there now? and then the baddie can fire some bad subroutine. Oof.
If he manages to fire the baddie, and then oof. Yeah, he's trying to like telegraph to the runner, like, I just jammed Jenna in here. Come get it.
Come and get it. Jan, you have the money. You can do it.
Jan, remember Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
The wise words of this.
The Jan is a very clever player. I don't know if he'll go for this, actually.
The Germans know how to do this. He played it before.
This is the kind of stuff that gives me so much stress when I'm playing Netrunner. Like,
I love it though. It's good.
I just play Infiltration sometimes on my decks just because I can expose stuff, because I want to know what's out there.
Well, usually, Wayland is the kind of like corporation that is very open with their secrets. So it's kind of weird that now they are in bed with Jinteki in this matchup.
It's true. They're starting to look a lot like each other at this point.
Yeah, very, very.
They're all about the trashing and about keeping their stuff secret.
But speaking of meta changes, like this is something that really excites me. We see such a huge shift from NBN to Wayland and Jinteki. Both of them got a huge boost, and it's just a joy to see them on the top tables again.
It's a shame that we didn't see more Wayland at Worlds, because I also expected, especially with Titan, because Titan seems to be a really strong deck right now. But it didn't do very well at Worlds, I believe.
I know. I haven't seen too many of those, so I don't know.
Yeah, in the case of MBN, there's still CTM, which has always been, I believe... Of course, there was Moon Knights, which became more popular, but that's always been a strong deck, and it didn't take that many hits. You cannot do the breaking news shenanigans anymore, but it still has a lot of its tools. So, yeah, it was very popular at this tournament as well.
Absolutely. And now Jan is thinking about, it's kind of interesting that Shapers are so popular these days. Sometimes I see some Anarchs, no criminals myself. I've seen no criminals. I played a criminal myself, for the one that Heinzel was playing, the German Geist.
Yeah, but a lot of people often make jokes about it. Heisen's not criminal, it's a mini faction.
It's not a joke. There's actually some truth to that, I would say.
It is so. I do believe that's true. Like it plays very different from a standard criminal sort of deck.
Yes. It's actually maybe even like a closed Shaper.
Yeah, it is, and in sort of ways it is very close to Shaper, more than criminal.
Yeah. Okay, Jan is a Shaper himself here right now with those beautiful green sleeves, and he's thinking about every single move. Now,
and he's playing indexing.
I love it. It's a good choice. Let's not focus on this remote server. Let's see what else you got. It's a Hortum.
He'll be able to go do this, especially with the bad pop. That's going to help him a lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, he needs to read Hortum.
Okay, back up. And what strength is it? 4, right? 4
it's strength 4.
And like 2 or 3 subroutines?
It has gain 1 credit subroutine and an end-run subroutine. So if he wants to break the 1 credit subroutine, he needs to pay 4 credits. Okay. But of course, he has the 1 pop to help him out.
And so there's Jan's going to see 5 cards. He can rearrange them in any order. If there's an agenda, he might put it on top. So he can go in again and get it the agenda.
And if he has the Mad Dash in his hand, that's actually going to put him at 3 credits, which is
3 points. You mean?
3 points, which would put him at the same amount of points as a Corp at this point.
Okay. Looking through some stuff that has been trashed already, making strategic choices. Of course, there's 2 advantages from this. You can score the agendas, but you can also delay the corporation by putting the good cards that they need right now on the top.
Indexing is definitely not an easy card to play, because of course there is the matter of putting the agendas at top. But there's also, for example, if you have a hedge fund and you have a different operation and assets, what do you put at the bottom and what do you put in the middle? Yeah. That can be very relevant.
And what happens if you have multiple agendas and you can't score them in one turn? Do you put the okay, I'm going to put the one down and I'm going to start counting the cards? So you have to. There's a lot of skill seeding potential here right now, where you can get a lot of value out of this card if you play it right.
What I will often do when I play indexing is I will count the cards with my fingers under the table, not to telegraph to the Corp.
Oh, it's forbidden to have any help.
You can use your own fingers to count the cards that are being drawn.
Or maybe other body parts.
No comment.
I was talking about toes. What do you guys with your dirty mind?
Yeah, just like curling your toes to count the cards that are being drawn.
It's great if you have the skills.
Did he actually run again on that on R&D?
I believe I can fly.
While we were talking about dirty body parts, we actually missed what happened after the index.
I distracted you guys, but no, there's no run, I think.
No. So he might not have seen an agenda. That would really suck if he didn't see a single agenda, because this was a good scoring opportunity.
Usually when the runners are taking their sweet time arranging the cards on indexing, usually that means there's no agenda and I want to do a lot of damage. Nice. Kelfasir giving us live updates that he actually won his game in the lower bracket. So yeah, we're gonna see. We might actually see a Trice 5 duel in the lower bracket.
And he's keeping that Nisei dream alive because he's actually on Nisei division.
Yes, of course. It's Kelfasir. He's the Sex Panther of.
Hello, stream. I love you.
This stream doesn't love you, Kelfasir.
Okay, guys. I'll just leave now.
Okay, so there's a run. What? There was a run on the R&D, right? He distracted us. There was a run on R&D.
Kelfasir again with the bad plays, distracting us from our stream.
Not sure why there was a run on R&D. Because he arranged the cards, so why would you access a card that he can't do anything without? What? I don't... I'm confused.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm very confused about this. Oh, okay. Maybe he just did it so he can play the tap.
But in that case, okay, he might have played the indexing just to see if there's an agenda. He didn't see any agenda, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna mitigate the damage. I'm gonna install the tapeworm.
Yeah.
And now the Corp has to spend 3 clicks to trash it, or they're gonna give him a bunch of credits because the Corp is at 11 credits right now.
Yep.
So that's gonna give him 2 credits every turn.
That's good. Tapeworm has been doing a lot of work in this tournament for me. So yeah, you have to kind of start purging aggressively, but then you're no longer playing the game. It's just one of those criminal cards again that does nothing for criminals, but it's great.
It's another Shaper card, a criminal card that finds a home in Shaper.
Yep,
as there have been a lot of them.
Yep, that's par for the game. So look at this. So now things get interesting. So Mlodon gets another Atlas. And so he could put it in the score server. He used the Atlas token to get the Atlas, and now he can put it. Does he have to show the card? Because he showed the card.
Yes. If you search a card with the Atlas token, you do have to reveal the card.
Sometimes you don't have to do it. With some cards, you don't have to reveal.
Yeah, there is. I think Watchtower is an ice where you can, if it has 3 advancement counters, you can search R&D for 2 or 3 cards, and you don't actually have to reveal the ones that you search.
I think with the Futures now, you also don't have to.
No, in the case of the Futures now, neither. Mm-hmm. But in the case of Atlas, you do.
Okay, weird, but okay, never mind. We now know that there is probably the Atlas in the server.
Most likely.
And it's defended, of course, by what we know is... there's actually... No, it's just 2 cards. We know that there's Batty inside here. So there's lots of potential to keep Jan out, to score out this 5th point. And that would put Mlodon on a very dangerous position for Jan. Jan hasn't scored anything in this game yet.
Of course, Hayley is very good. The very popular Hayley variant is called Hayley Lock for a reason. He does have the clutch to be able to put pressure on the Corp and to kind of lock out the remote.
But Mlodon not going to fast advance. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he can just put it in there and kind of just wait it out.
Yeah. All right. No clicks for Jan. Jan will really think this out. Usually Jan is a glacier kind of type of player where he takes his time but always picks the right decision, or at least it seems. Then again, playing a little piano piece here for us. Nope.
Stroking his playmat, seeing whether it can give him some guidance.
For a second there, my heart froze because I thought maybe the image froze. It's a very complicated technical setup. And Jan is moving in this kind of jerky motion. It kind of looks like if the stream is freezing all the time. But no. Mlodon is here with his smooth movements.
They're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pressure. We're all feeling the pressure right now.
The pressure is on, absolutely. The cooker is steaming. All right, a lot of thinking.
I do see a sacrificial construct in.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, that is not a bad card to have right now.
Okay, so because we haven't seen any attempts to do any kind of Hunter Seeker, so maybe Mlodon doesn't have any Hunter Seekers?
That seems somewhat unlikely, especially in Skorpios. Maybe he prefers GFI, but...
or maybe he just wants to go fast. Maybe he's also the Sonic of Skorpios.
Maybe he plays as Stolmu.
That is also possible, I guess. Anything is possible. It's the finals,
Part of the reason that a lot of those decks do well is because, like, especially now with the new Most Wanted list, is restricted cards, and you don't know what restricted card the runner and the Corp is playing.
Yeah.
So very often it's surprised. Do they play the Film Critic or do they play the Employee Strike?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
part of the fun is kind of guessing and anticipating what they play.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, still thinking about this? Marcelo's also won, so in fact we are might be going towards a Kelf versus Marcelo's finale.
Phase 5, yo.
That would be pretty amazing. That would be pretty amazing. I would love to see this in front of the camera.
It's really funny because I was talking with Cal Facile yesterday, and he was thinking about playing an MBN deck, which is totally not him because he hates MBN.
Yeah.
And I convinced him to play Nisei Division,
Yeah.
which, as we all know, is not the most meta of decks.
Nope.
And he turns out to make the finale with his Nisei Division.
Oh,
So now he gets to wrap it and play the finale at the same time. I'm very proud of him.
it's good. It's good. Okay, so the first click has been used for something, and there's counting on both sides.
Is he maybe setting up for Salem's Hospitality? Is that why he's counting cards?
I mean, that's possible. Why not? Sure. Draw. Even more draw. This game is just proceeding at slow motion right now. It's really just.
It's like the total opposite of the first game of the
Yep.
top card with Calvacil.
Okay, there's a run apparently. I think the third click is a run.
Oh,
on
there
the
we go.
server. Or maybe it's just a preemptive res of the Batty in case the runner does something like interdiction or something.
That might be possible. Yeah, this game is proceeding like a surgeon's knife. While the first game of the top card was more like a bludgeon.
Yep.
Just hit hard and hit rough.
Yep.
This is going so like calculated.
Yep. Okay, so the third click, there was no after all. The third click is just a sure gamble, and that is get removed from the game.
Yep.
So now maybe Jan is the opportunity to maybe play something really juicy. Or yes,
Oh, Mad Dash.
go for it, Jan. You crazy,
I love it.
you crazy German.
He's like, oh, there's a baddie.
Against the
That's fine.
baddie, whatever.
I win all the side games. It's
Whatever.
fine.
Who cares about Batty anyway?
I love how in 2017 side games are still as relevant as ever. This is delicious. I love it.
Mad Dash against Batty. This is so good, guys. I can't get over it. And then Mlodon is braining out himself because
he's stressing out. He's like, oh no, I can't believe this. Like,
oh Jesus! What will I rest want? What won't I rest? How many credits will I have afterwards? Which subroutines will be fired? When? At which point do I fire subroutines? How could I make this the most painful, difficult run for the runner right now? There's so many things, so many options, so many subroutines to fire. Okay, there is a rotor turret.
Okay.
That does not do a lot.
It's taxing out the runner, but I don't know, like 2 credits, and especially with the bad pop, I don't know how I feel about it at this point.
Of course, there's also Sacrificial Construct out, so
yes.
trashing one thing is not enough.
Yeah, he definitely wants to keep the Sacrificial Construct for Hunter Seeker, but he's still thinking about it.
Okay, so I think we passed the rotor turret at this point, and now I think we're going through the Hortum, and now after the Hortum, we're going to get a fire. We're not sure of which subroutine, but first let's see the Psy game, and then we're going to see what subroutine was fired.
Yeah, at this point, do you go for the Trash the Program subroutine, or do you go for the End Run subroutine?
I don't know, with the Sacrificial Construct, that kind of like really discourages the trash subroutines, right?
I assume so, but if he has a Hunter Seeker to follow up on it...
I just go plain old Elder Run and score it out, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's last click. Whatever.
There we go!
Jesus Christ, Jan. What the hell? What the actual... Wow.
His side games have been on point the entire tournament. This is unbelievable.
Does he have some kind of radar or some kind of... Alright, so there's some counting. And yeah. Sorry for the disconnect, guys, but we are We were so excited.
Even our stream couldn't believe the
screen can't take it.
Psy game though.
It's too much. It's too much. Okay, so Jan at 3 points, and Mlodon also at 3 points. After this super ballsy, absolutely mega ballsy mad dash.
I can't believe it. Like he called it. I don't know how he did it.
Doesn't Mlodon have like a little bit of a scoring window here right now, though?
He does though. Like, but getting that Atlas, like ultimately, like one of the best things you can do in Wayland is get like the Atlas train going, which is like the new version of the Astro train, the Atlas train. Yeah. And he got the second Atlas, so he can still score the third Atlas. Yeah. And that's good, but he doesn't have something to follow up. He does have a Hunter Seeker in his hand.
Oh, so but what are you going to trash? And also there is also Sacrificial Construct there.
Does he have a best defense in his hand?
Whatever, just just making Jan use up the Sacrificial Construct is also useful.
Pro move, trash the Shadow Net, because that cannot be prevented by Sacrificial Construct, and just getting back up. Called it.
Marcellus called it. This is an even better call than that Psy game, I believe.
Okay, so it actually goes for the Shadow Net. Shadow Net is a relatively new card, I guess.
What does the Shadow Net do?
So that's kind of you sacrifice an agenda, and then you replay an event from your archives.
Ignoring all costs?
Yes, I believe so. So it's actually like a data dealer, but even better, because...
can get back indexings and...
Marcellus is not in front of the camera, but he still wants to be in front of the camera. Like, just lose the game, Marcellus, and then you can commentate as next guy.
That's not how this works.
Okay. So anyway, so it's as good as a data dealer, because usually there is a sure gamble in the discard pile, and then a sure gamble is the 99 credits that you usually get with data dealer. So, but it's even more flexible. You can replay an indexing, you can replay a mad dash. There's lots of options. People are very loud in here, and I'm going to ask them to be a bit more quiet next time around. But yeah, so here is Jan getting credits from his Tapworm.
How many credits did he get? The Corp is at 9 credits right now.
So it's 1 credit, I think.
One. Still, it helps. Like the drip economy you get from Tapworm is nothing to sneeze at. It's
a long term. Oh, look at this Jan following up with the indexing.
Oh, this might.
No time for the wicked. He wants to win this game.
Yeah, he wants to close this out fast because he knows that Skorpios is like he can lose the game at any point if he gets like hit by the. Did he get?
Oh, there's something there. Oh yes, you re-injured. Oh yeah, I think that was a. Is that a renovation? Octog renovation?
I do see one Hunter Seeker.
I think this is. I think there's a 0 point and then the standoff.
Oh, the standoff. Yeah, that doesn't actually help him.
Might be, but there those Wayland cards. It's always like some kind of orange, orange greenish thing. There's Hunter Seeker all the way on the bottom, but he decides to put it last, so Mlodon draws into it very, very late. Okay. And then I believe he will go again.
Yeah, and he's going to remove the
might even give Mlodon the credits for Hortum, so his Tapworm is more effective. Yep, it seems so, right? Yeah, Mlodon gets the credits. Yep. No.
It does work for Oh,
there we go.
Oh, it was an Oaktown grade.
I told you, Oaktown renovation.
Oaktown renovation. Yeah.
So up to 5 points now. Very good for Jan. Just needs a juicy 2-pointer to close this game.
If he can find the Atlas, he wins.
Mlodon is Mlodon. What are you going to do now, Mlodon? He was doing so well early game, but now he is the one that has to catch up.
One thing to consider, though, is that he's way higher on credits than the runner at this point.
That is true.
He might have a scoring opportunity
Another scoring window, perhaps. But of course, the runner will get 2 credits on the beginning of his next turn.
True.
The Tapworm is so good. There is an Atlas on hand.
Mm-hmm. It has been on hand for quite some time.
I'm sorry, I missed this. Okay, so maybe jam it in the server and try to score it?
Yeah. I think he has to at this point.
Do the math. Will the runner get through? So how much does he have to pay?
I think he's thinking about it right now.
3, 4, 5, and then a lot of credits. No, actually no, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 credits.
Yeah, it is definitely possible. Like he could even do it in one turn. He gets 2 credits.
Yeah. So maybe another ice to make the server to seal the scoring window, so to speak, and then try to score the Atlas.
And spending money at this point makes Taproom not as good, which might be the thing that he needs.
Yeah,
at this point.
actually, controlling.
Even just installing an ice wall might
absolutely.
be it.
Ice wall. Why not?
Yeah,
Sure.
he's thinking. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's just 1 credit.
Oh,
wow.
double ice.
Committing to the scoring window, absolutely all the way.
There you go.
Bam. Get this.
So yeah, Jan doesn't get any credits at this point.
Yeah, that's good. Locking him out. Jan again needed 8 credits to get through previously, but now it's even more. Maybe a little less than 8, because you can, for example, fire the subroutine of Rototurret and then just prevent the trash.
True, and he still has his bad pop at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also,
I forgot about that.
something to consider.
Absolutely.
And very easy to forget as well.
Absolutely. Like Pigby, but that's a very that's an obscure reference there. So now Jan has probably no chance here. Like with just 3 credits, even if he clicks 4 credits and runs, there's just no chance for him to get in there. So maybe doing something else. Also R&D. I mean, he could go for the piece in our time. But also Mlodon is also low on credits.
True. What he can do now is he can score the Atlas without over-advancing it. Next turn he'll be at, or 2 turns after this, he'll be at 1 credit, and then he has 1 credit, he can start advancing an Oaktown grid. Oaktown renovation. I keep saying Oaktown grid.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Now he's at 1 credit.
So both players at 5 points. Both players just need a juicy 2-pointer to close this game. Thanks, Jan. Jan knows exactly. He's a camera pro. He knows exactly what needs to be done to make this board set readable for us viewers.
And it's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. Okay, Jan.
What do you do at this point?
Okay, 4 clicks. We know that probably R&D there's more agenda on R&D. Because,
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of card draws, so I don't think R&D is very nice at this point. He might
probably still be in indexing range, right? Because there was indexing before, so I guess the top 5 cards are more. Something amazing happened in the table next to us. I'm not sure if it's as amazing as the thing that's happening right now in front of the top table, but clearly very emotional. Okay, there's a run on HQ.
He sees a hedge fund. Yeah, he puts a lot of pressure on HQ now, just hoping to see a 2-pointer there.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think that's a bad play at all.
It's good. There's no rest either because Mlodon is just doesn't have the money right now.
The worst thing he can rest for 1 or 0 credits is maybe an ice wall, and he can break it for free with the bad
He
pop.
won't rest it. Even that 1 credit is the gateway for him to maybe get back into credits.
Indeed. He needs that 1 credit to start advancing onto Oaktown renovation.
Unless he has maybe something that he really... But even that won't keep Jan out, because even the ice wall will be broken with the Inti, and he has a bad pop, so you could just as well not rest anything and get up again. All right, so there is the standoff. I believe. Are you going to put it in the server?
He cannot even score the standoff at this point. He only has 1 credit.
Put it in the server and start scoring. Start getting credits and then score it next turn.
Yeah, that's true. He might be able to bait him into it, and then when the runner scores the standoff, it doesn't even advance his board state or his point.
Yeah, just get 3 credits. Interesting. Yeah. Okay,
that's fine. He's still under 5, so the runner won't get anything from Taproom as well.
Okay, good. That's good. That's okay. That's also something that's very important to remember. Yeah.
Piece in our time.
Okay, so that's going to be a peaceful turn. By Jan, gets everybody money, and then he draws a bunch of cards. There's a second Taproom and a fan side.
He's not going to make a run this turn.
And getting credits, yeah, get those credits, Jan. Of course, now, again, no scoring window anymore. Mlodon cannot just jam anything on the server. And
I also think that we now see, now especially, there's fresh cards on top of R&D. There's an Oaktown renovation.
Yeah, but he can't. He just can't. He just can't. Oh, what? No, he put something. Okay, so he put something in there. If I was him, that would have been the standoff. Yes. But I'm an idiot, so So maybe it's not the standard.
Not everybody knows how to play Wayland.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is an acquired taste.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Marcellus can confirm.
Yeah, one of the bad things about that Oak Drum renovation, it's such a good agenda, but the fact that it gets installed face up means that there's no bluffing involved. It's literally just come here and get it.
Especially when in situations like this, when it's like, okay, I could run it, but it will cost me a lot, so maybe I won't run it. But if you know it's an agenda, you will absolutely run it.
Yeah.
So maybe just play it safe there. Jan gets a lot of money from the taproom now. 2 credits. Time has been called, we've been told. That is a bad situation. So who will win here? I think Jan, because he's the higher seed. They're both at 5 points. But if Jan can maybe eke out just one little point, he can maybe turn this around.
Yeah, in this case, does he go for? I don't think he goes for the remote. He might just start going into R&D a little bit more, try to get that 1 point just to get the timed win out of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe. Yeah, he ran HQ a few times last turn.
Jan is on the safe side, so maybe just run into his remote and make sure that this is not like some kind of weird wine pointer.
That's
or
true. He might just run it just to see what it is.
Also check the top of R&D, because if there is a hostile takeover there, he will lose. So
he's doing exactly what you say. He's gonna check the top.
What is it? We don't know.
Didn't see what it was.
Not an agenda. That's the first click. I mean, he could mad dash into the server.
That would put him at 1 point.
Yes.
Or 1 extra point.
Yeah. if
he might as well at this point, because there's literally nothing that can hurt him at this point.
Yeah. That would be funny. Mad dash for
Mad dash into stand up,
no!
That would not be the weirdest thing I've seen happen this tournament. So
okay, he checks HQ.
He's going to safe route.
HQ is a safe check right now.
Yeah, he's doing the safe route. He knows it's not an Atlas, because all 3 Atlases have been scored.
That's actually, oh man, that's painful, because this is a fast track. So if Mlodon could have used this fast track to get a hostile takeover, of course, but he doesn't have quite the clicks.
No. He might play Biotic next turn.
If he has the space for it, I would be surprised and amazed.
I would be very surprised, especially with the Marcus baddies.
There's some scene style. Yeah, the taproom won't do anything anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, it's removed from the game. Sure.
Sure, whatever you say.
Yeah. Just get eking out the last. Okay, so I think it was a preemptive action there.
Ah, there we go. Oh, it's a best defense.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yes,
he can use best defense on the SMC. Such value during the last.
Of course, yes. just to set an example for the future.
Wayland is all about setting examples.
Absolutely.
So
if there's a corporation that is about setting example, it is Wayland.
Really hard about how he's going to score 2 more agenda points, or even 1 more agenda point this turn, but he doesn't have the hostile in hand. He does have the fast track, but he doesn't have 4 clicks, so
oof.
I don't see how he's going to do it.
He's thinking maybe he can get up some 1 pointer somehow, but I don't see it either.
If only standoff was a 2-1.
Yeah, just draw.
Keep
draw,
drawing,
and that's
drawing,
it.
and there we go.
GG. So that's going to be Jan winning in a most cowardly way. Because he's a higher seat in the top cut. So
it has been a very exciting game.
No, it was. I would have loved to see how this game plays out. It's kind of like, it breaks my heart, because it seems like such a close matchup. And of course now they're discussing all the possibilities of all the things that could have been possible but aren't. There was a wraparound and an ice wall in front of, so that wasn't really a big deal, but just enough to tilt the balance. All right, guys. So we're gonna. This went in time, so we're gonna continue with the next game right away. See you in a bit.
Hike the planet! Hike the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Shit on me.